Well, Johnson wary of it. He got a glove on those last two right hands, but one of them did get through. And you see he's parrying it pretty well, so he's adjusted. If he takes another one like that in this round, in the next minute or so, I don't think he'll come back. That was a clean, crisp, straight shot from Barber. We've talked about his punching technique that they've worked on in the Kronk operation. Emmanuel Stewart, studying tapes and so on, discovered that Barber was kind of jumping out of his punches just about the time he threw them. So, you know, part of his body was going the wrong way. There wasn't any leverage or real power when the punch finally came through. He's not doing it anymore. He's finishing. He's extending. He's turning at the end. And he got a knockdown with it in that first round. He does have a good left hook, but that has not yet, Jim, been in evidence. It was a right.
Straight right down the middle, following a left jab. And the one thing, Chris, that we've talked about so often is that power by boxers is generated from their legs. And that's what they've worked on, his footwork, so he can generate the kind of power that his body should be able to deliver.
Bingo, just right across the front. That had some power. But you see, his lower body was with his upper body. They weren't starting out. It was like, you know, I guess you jump in, set your toes, and stepping back. He wasn't doing that.
And and you saw how effortless that looked. Well, the reason it does, I think, sometimes when you look at it, is because everything was in the right place.
Everything's in sync.
Right.
Exactly.
The legs were there. You don't have to look like you're throwing a wild haymaker to get power if everything is moving in the right direction. Just like a golfer who may be small at 5'9", 155 pounds, if he's able to move the club head and work all of his body in motion, he can hit the ball a long way, and it looks effortless. And that's kind of what Leeonzer Barber did in round one against Robert Johnson, and he put him down. Big round for Leeonzer Barber.
Barber will try to stay out at this kind of range the whole fight if he can. If he gets inside, it is an admitted weak area. He's working at, obviously. That's one of those blanks to be filled in later type scenarios in terms of developing him into a legitimate contender at the upper echelon. And this for a Continental Americas title. He's got some rankings. He deserves some, and he'll probably get some more.
Good left. That was a stiff left hand that had Johnson hurt, and Johnson is hurt again, and he's down with the right hand. It's over. Bobby Watson will count to 5, 6, 7, 8. Robert Johnson is talking with Bobby Watson. Bobby Watson will let it continue. Johnson was down on his face, looked like he was through, but got up and convinced Bobby Watson he could continue.
He's defenseless. Stop it.
And Bob Watson stops it. Now, Johnson can't believe it, but Robert Johnson was basically defenseless. And Bob Watson did the right thing. Rather than get someone hurt badly, even though Johnson still standing in Leeonzer Barber's corner is shaking his head, he still believes that he could have gone on. But he was taking a tremendous beating from Leeonzer Barber about the head. And he was, as you said, Chris, defenseless at that point, not throwing anything, and he couldn't see anything coming. And that's when a fighter can get hurt.
Yeah, the second time, you know, he got knocked down in the first, and then he gets stuck over by the ropes, and Leeonzer Barber's moving in on him, and he'll pop him a few times here. Set him up, set him up, set him up. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but I mean, it may sound a bit grotesque, but right there, his mouth just exploded. A big shower of blood came blowing out of his face. Now, there's no delicate way to say that, but it does describe the kind of damage all of a sudden done, and down he went once again. Subsequent to that, Jim, here comes a couple of them. There's the one. You can see, bingo, one finishing shot. Now, he talked Bobby Watson into letting him go. But Watson never went more than 3 feet away. You'll see Bobby walk into the frame right back there. He was right on top of it. Might have gotten hit if he'd been any closer, but he wanted to see, and he's not watching Leeonzer Barber. He gets off the shoulder. He said, okay, that's enough, enough, enough. Good decision by Bobby Watson. It was won by Leeonzer Barber cleanly, and, you know, let it go on. It would just contribute to a slaughter that was not necessary. This fight was over.
And Leeonzer Leeonzer Barber gets the victory. Very impressive indeed. He raises his record to 11-1 with 7 KOs. And he takes home a Continental America's Light Heavyweight Championship belt that he has since been able to get. And he is wearing it now in the ring as they continue to attend to Robert Johnson of Mobile, Alabama, who suffers his 4th loss in 15 fights. And to be perfectly honest, after the right hand knocked him down in round 1, there wasn't much question that Robert Johnson was not going to last this fight if it continued to go that way, if he didn't get some kind of respect from Leeonzer Barber, and he never did. Barber put him away in the 2nd round, a left and then a straight right down the middle, which put Johnson down on his nose. He got up, convinced Bobby Watson to let him continue, and then another flurry of rights and lefts to, for the most part, a defenseless Robert Johnson caused Bob Watson, the referee for this one, to step in and end it. A TKO in the 2nd round. Official time 1:26, rather. That's an unofficial time 1:26. And let's go to Wally Jackson now for the official announcement.
Our man in decision, Bobby Watson, stops this contest at 1 minute 26 seconds of the 2nd round. The winner and new WBC Continental America's Light Heavyweight Champion from Detroit, Leeonzer Barber.
A big, big win for Leeonzer Barber, and he is up in the ring with Emmanuel Stewart and our Chris McClure.
Just acknowledging the cheers from the crowd, a partisan crowd, obviously, for Leeonzer Barber. Tell me, A, about the 1st round. You got him down once in that round.
Well, I was trying to set up the right hand. I saw that he was very mobile, upper body-wise. I saw that he didn't have very good head movement. So I tried to set him up with the right hand with the jab, and I feinted him, and he was right there, just like I thought he would be.
2nd round, you got another knockdown. This one didn't kind of come like that. It was set up as you went back toward the ropes. Tell me about that sequence.
Well, what I did, I saw that he was still over the right hand, and he was still hurt in the 1st round, so I thought I'd take advantage of that without getting too careless and set him up for a couple more rights. See, right here, following up with the hook. I'm setting him up for the right hand, throwing uppercuts. See, he was open for just about everything. So instead of getting impatient, I just set it up.
Were you at all surprised? It looked like he kind of talked Bobby Watson into continuing at that point. And, you know, from that point on, I mean, the fight was over. Were you surprised he let it go?
Well, he had a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And it's a championship fight, so you want to give him every opportunity to win. And seeing that, I said, if he can take it, I can dish it out. So I just went on to finish it.
Okay, I think we're going to watch that last little bit just before Bobby jumped in. And obviously he was defenseless.
Yes, he was hurt. Took a pretty good punch because I hit pretty hard. And I'm hitting him with everything, and he's just taking him. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about your development. I know you say yourself you don't like to fight inside. Didn't have to. You had the range and the pace to yourself from the beginning. You're working on that part of it. Also, your punching technique. That's coming along, and you've worked in the gym. What have you done with that?
Well, I work very hard in the gym, and hard work pays off. See what it is? After my comeback, I was real rusty. But I've always been taught the basics. My father worked with me in the beginning. He'd always taught me the basics. I can do it all, basically. It just takes time to develop. And the last couple of fights, I've seen the progress. The gym workouts with Michael Moore and Dennis Andres and the world champions has really increased my ability and helped me along. And I think I'm headed for the world championship.
Okay. That's not the immediate next step. Do you have a new plan? What's up next?
But that's up to my manager here, Manny.
Okay, let's bring Manny over here. I do have one quick question or two for Emmanuel. First of all, the next step for Leeonzer himself.
Well, I like to keep him busy. In fact, you know, it's not too many light heavyweights you can fight outside of the champions that the public is interested in. But I like to keep him busy fighting every month if I can. He's still a developing fighter. And he's right now, I think, rated number 2 for Michael Moore's championship, which I'm glad of. Which means that if Michael vacates the light heavyweight championship, he'll fight whoever's the next guy, probably, for Michael's title, most likely before the end of 1991.
Okay, thank you. Emmanuel Stewart, Leeonzer Barber, he has a championship belt. Jim, there could very well be some more.
Leeonzer Barber, who was a man whose power was suspect, has certainly worked on it in the gym to develop a big punch, to develop a way to put people away. And Leeonzer Barber went out tonight against Robert Johnson and proved it with a 2nd round TKO and a